Hey, it's Matt from Custom Car Grills with an install video for the 2020 and newer C8 Corvette. To gain as much access to the sides as possible while keeping the bumper on, there's a lower splash guard that can be removed with a ratchet and 7mm socket, as well as a T15 Torx driver. Next, there's a few T15 Torx bolts on the lower edge where the painted bumper and black plastic meet up. A low-profile driver like this one works great and eliminates the need for ramps while doing this install. The lower splash guard can be slid back, down, and out and set aside for now. We now have better access to the side areas, which can be pulled down below the painted bumper. This is the area of which the mesh will be fed through and then up. It's a somewhat tight space, but the mesh can be angled in and into place. One thing to note is that we're putting these screens in to protect the radiators, so try not to catch the mesh on the radiator fins and damage them during this installation process. After the mesh is in place, it's nice to have a tie loosely tied around the center of the mesh and around a center bar. This will assist with holding the mesh while tying the corners. Supplied are several cable ties, and these should be used in at least 4 outer corners of the grill, but additional ties can be used if desired. The black ties loop through the mesh and around one of the black bars of the stock grill, and conceal quite well when completed. Once all the ties are in place, then trim off the tail ends of the ties. Also, cut and remove the helper tie that was in the center of the grill at this point. Here's another angle of the install, this time from the driver's side. The black plastic part pulls down under the painted bumper to reveal an opening to feed the mesh through. Angle the mesh in with the correct orientation, and this should slide up in there with no trouble. Again, we try to avoid knocking the mesh against the radiator in this step. Next comes the center tie to help keep it in place temporarily while the corners are being tied down. The driver's side piece will have a notch in it to accommodate the front trunk release button. The notch should be well below the release button to avoid any sort of accidental activation of it. If the notch is coming close, or if the mesh is not fully secured on, then adjust the install accordingly until there is a solid installation away from the button. Once satisfied with the placement and security of the install, then trim off the tail ends and remove the helper center tie. Now it's just a matter of reassembling the splash guard and fastening the bolts. Overall, this is a fairly easy mod with some basic tools and makes for a good weekend project that will protect the radiators for a long time to come. Once installed, the black mesh blends in so well that it's almost invisible. Well, that's all I've got for this video. If you have any questions on it, then feel free to contact me. And thanks for watching.